You are probably thinking that what we are seeing right now today is a sign of a peak and a possible bull trap. You may be more convinced that now is the time to finally see a more pronounced correction ahead. And I'm not going to disagree with you because that's a valid idea. So what I'm going to do today is just work with scenarios, possibilities, and strategies that we can use from now on. Remember that everything that I say here on this channel is based on technical evidence and risk control. It's not financial advice, as I am just a guy who created this channel to share ideas while practicing my English. My name is Nathan. Welcome to the Finance Hydra channel where we analyze the market every single day. Welcome to another daily study. Yes, what we see over here is a possible bull trap, and I told you guys this yesterday. Yesterday we saw this phenomenal breakout of the previous all-time high level, of the previous resistance level over here. The SPY was maintaining the bullish bias. It is still inside this ascending channel, okay? So the bullish bias is still valid. However, by making another downwards breakout of this resistance level after materializing an upwards breakout, that's a very frustrating scenario, especially for the bulls, because this could be a bull trap. Let's analyze a smaller time frame like the 1 hour chart. What we see over here is finally the rejection of this 21-hour EMA, the exponential moving average on the 1 hour chart, which was a previous support level over here, right? Now, by losing this key point, SPY faces a very challenging situation because if we fail to break this resistance level again, made by this 21-hour EMA and the 646, we may see this movement as another dead cat bounce and a possible bearish pivot point. Lower high, lower low. That's a classic bearish reversal chart pattern on the 1 hour chart, reinforcing the idea of a sharper pullback on the daily chart. Right now we see another bearish candle following yesterday's bullish candle closing below this resistance level. Now, how dangerous is this reaction? Well, honestly, it is not that much, okay? It is slightly dangerous, but not that much. Why, Nathan? Because, guys, we saw many bearish signals like this one recently over here during this entire rally, and none of them actually reversed the bullish bias. Okay, we saw a dangerous top signal over here, right? Over here again, over here. This one materialized a pullback, all right? But just a harmless pullback. Another dangerous top signal over here, July 7, right? Another one over here, July 15. We never, during this entire rally, we never succeeded in reversing the bullish bias. Okay, so right now we see another possible bearish reaction that could be the trigger point of the next collapse, of the next crash. But guys, as long as you stay above the 21-day EMA and as long as you stay inside this ascending channel, the bullish bias is not gonna reverse, okay? It is still valid, all right? So in spite of today's reaction, in order for confirmation's sake, we gotta see the loss of this double support level, this purple trend line and this 21-day EMA. Only then we may see a technical, serious reversal ahead and a possible correction on the weekly chart as well. On the weekly chart, we see a very small candle this week, right? Today is Friday, so this candle is finally closed. So we see a small candle, which could be a kind of doji candle pattern, okay? It is not a perfect doji, but it could be, all right? Well, we saw an even more dangerous doji over here a few weeks ago, right? We saw top signals over here, and over here again. None of them succeeded in reversing the trend, all right? We saw this bearish engulfing candle pattern a few weeks ago, which is a very strong bearish reversal chart pattern, but SPY is still maintaining the uptrend. So, can you understand my logic over here? Why is so important for us to wait for confirmation, to wait for the loss of this double support level? Because we saw so many bear traps recently that honestly it is simply worth to wait for more confirmation, especially at this point, all right? Waiting for confirmation is the main difference between traders and gamblers, all right? Gamblers want to trade without confirmation, without technique, without setting stop losses, without targets. We, on the other hand, we always work with a strategy. We are not here to nail the very top and buy the very deep. We are here to make money consistently over the long term, all right? So right now, what we see is a possible bull trap, is a possible top signal that could reverse the trend, but again, we are still ascending, all right? We are still inside this ascending channel. Nathan, what if we lose these two support levels next week? Then okay, my dear friend, then I'll be more convinced that a sharper correction could occur on the weekly chart. But remember, I am letting charts convince me that we're gonna reverse. I'm not convinced that we're gonna reverse, and I am trying to look for more confirmation on our charts to force my idea on our charts. Okay, I do the inverse, all right? I just analyze charts, and if they convince me, then all right, then we can adapt our strategies, then we can always find other new opportunities in the market. But for now, we are still above our support levels, period. Okay, now the QQQ is losing this ascending channel support level, and that's a very dangerous situation. This is way more dangerous than the SPY, all right? In this particular case, we saw a bounce. Now apparently we are finding a top level below this purple trend line near the 21-day EMA. A few days ago, we saw this phenomenal hammer candle pattern. We saw the breakout of this hammer's high, reinforcing the idea of another rally to the 583 over here. But right now, this bearish reaction could be a reversal inflection point for the QQQ on the 1-hour chart. We also see the idea of higher highs, higher lows, but right now we see a low at the same price level of the previous low. Don't you agree that if we see the loss of this key point, we could see a bearish pivot point on the 1-hour chart, suggesting a more pronounced pullback on the daily chart, along with the trigger point of this bearish reaction that has a name, by the way. These two candle patterns over here from today and yesterday together, they make one single candle structure called below the stomach candle pattern, okay, which is a statistically reliable candle structure, all right? It does reverse more often than not, so we gotta be very careful if the QQQ is going to materialize a bearish pivot point on the 1-hour chart or not, because that's the trigger point of this top signal on the daily chart, which is very close to the 568.44. I'm so sorry, 0.45. Okay, so this key point was this hammer's high, now is working as a short-term support level for the QQQ. So the loss of this key point, the trigger point of this bearish pivot point, could be the excuse for tech stocks to drop, to retest lower support levels. The QQQ could easily seek the 558 again. So we gotta be very careful with this inflection point, all right? In this channel, I always describe the main inflection points for you so you can adapt, so you can use them on your own strategies, okay? To help you to design your own strategies, all right? Now, Nvidia, like the SPY, Nvidia is still inside it's congestion, okay? The SPY is inside an ascending channel, right? Nvidia is more like a sideways congestion up here, okay? Now we are collapsing again, right? Dropping more than 3% today just to retest our support level at 174. We have been talking about this support level for many weeks right now. That's the major support level for Nvidia. So it is not surprising at all to see Nvidia stabilizing right around the 174. Okay, that's a very obvious key inflection point for us, and today's reaction just reinforces our idea or reading. Now, okay, we are stabilizing right above, right around this support level. What if next week we see downwards breakout? Well, 165 is going to be our next technical target. Okay. But Nathan, what if Nvidia reacts next week? What if we see bullish reaction above this support level? Another rally to the 183. Okay, that's how I see Nvidia right now. It all depends on how we are going to behave next week, next Tuesday, because Monday is holiday, right? It's September 1st, so next Tuesday. Okay, then we'll see if Nvidia is going to actually make a bottom signal, or if we're going to see the loss of this support level, reinforcing the idea that we're going to seek the 165 as our next support level. If you ask me, in the worst case scenario, Nvidia could drop even lower, maybe to the 157 near the 21 weekly moving average. But medium term wise, let's focus on the 165 first. If we see the loss of this key point, all right? And guys, before I forget, we do see more alarming signals on the SPY and QQQ. I already shared my ideas regarding this topic here on this channel about the idea of a divergence between price and a few indicators like the OBV over here and the RSI. The OBV is pure volume, okay? It is the sum of the previous volumes over here, and right now we see a decrease in volume, all right? So the smart money is not necessarily buying over here. We don't see a good flow of money into stocks right now. Why we see the price going up? So why is it going up right now? Is it because retail traders are buying? What's happening over here? I don't know. What's more, the RSI is also showing a strong divergence. We see the previous high clearly higher than the current highs, while the price is making higher highs, higher lows. Okay, so we gotta be extremely careful in this context. Okay, meanwhile, we see OBV making lower lows as well. Okay, so it is losing support level. So in addition to a divergence over here, we see an advanced breakdown on this indicator. So if, and this is a big if, all right, if we see the confirmation of a top signal next week, if we see the SPY losing this ascending channels support level, given this information, the next pullback could be quite sharp and intense. The QQQ also shows a divergence over here, right? We see the OBV making higher highs while it is making lower lows right now at this point. So it is looking very weird. It is not making sense when we analyze the pure price action, okay? While the RSI also shows a strong divergence over here. So guys, we are not only losing momentum right now, but we see weird indicators showing weird signals. So we gotta pay attention to these key points right now, because this could heavily impact our stocks if the index is correct. And by the way, there is the idea, what's more, right? What's more, there is the idea of a head and shoulders chart pattern on the QQQ. Okay, we see this pivot point followed by a possible bearish pivot point. That's a head and shoulders, one of the one of the most famous, a classic, well-known bearish reversal chart pattern. Okay, one of the best. All right, so by analyzing indicators, by analyzing current price action, although there is no confirmation on the price yet of a top signal, I do understand that if we see confirmation, the next correction could be very sharp and intense. Okay, so guys, let's pay attention to these inflection points because they guide us through this market. Together in this channel, we did identify many incredible opportunities just because we can understand very well how the smart money is behaving. If you know how to use a few indicators in addition to a good price action like OBV, like RSI, we can actually see how the smart money is moving. They can lie with words, they can lie using the media on their favor, but they can't lie using charts. I always tell you guys, a good trader is capable to identify these opportunities because, well, it is all about reading charts properly. If you don't know how to read charts well and you start blaming technical analysis because it doesn't work well, my dear friend, I have news for you. It is your fault. Okay, it is only your fault. It's because you lack competency on this topic. It's all you can't blame the tool, always blame the trader. All right, so guys, here on this channel we always have this pragmatic view on how to use technical analysis in conjunction with good risk management and good strategies. That's what we do every single day here on this channel. So subscribe, join this channel, click on the like button to support me as well. And remember, if you want to trade with me, you can join the 5% project. Join our Telegram channel. Only there you will have access to our trades, signals, and strategies in real time. We are swing traders. Okay, we are not day traders. You are not gonna babysit. There is no need to babysit our channel every single minute of the day, okay? Because since we are swing traders, I always share the signals by the end of the day. Okay, when we see a clear movement, all right, we use the daily chart as our main time frame. So it is a very nice trading style. I do believe that you can benefit a lot from our signals. It is totally free to try, okay? 7 days trial just to see if you like what we have to offer. We do have hundreds of traders over there making money every single day. You are invited to join us. Link is in this video's description, okay? It's right here below in the description, all right? Now, guys, we see Tesla over here making a bottom signal, making a bearish reaction, retesting a support level. Now, is that a bottom signal? No, it's not a bottom signal. On the 1 hour chart, we see a head and shoulders chart pattern reinforcing the idea that yes, we are supposed to correct to lower levels from here. Any bounce could be just another dead cat bounce, and honestly that would not be surprising because according to Thomas Bukowski's studies, a pullback after a head and shoulders getting triggered occurs more often than not, roughly 66% of the time. Okay, so if we see pullback over here back to this 21-hour EMA, let's not be euphoric, let's not be surprised, because that could happen if this reaction makes indeed truly materialize a bottom signal above this 21-day EMA, then all right, then we could see another buying opportunity. But for now, there is no such reaction. We are still dropping, we are still collapsing. There is not a single meaningful reaction yet. When we analyze, let me analyze Tesla's indicators over here, because here, although the RSI is not divergent, the OBV is. Okay, see, we have a higher high, but the OBV does not show a higher high, so there is no actual flow of money in Tesla right now. It was only going up because, well, the market was pricing another rally, but there were no buyers over here anymore. So we see another divergence. What's more, Nvidia, before I forget, Nvidia also shows a weird divergence on the RSI. Okay, the OBV is fine, but the RSI is clearly going down while the price is moving sideways. So what this means? Well, people are not necessarily excuse me, investors are not necessarily selling Nvidia right now because Nvidia is incredibly bullish, but it is losing momentum. So maybe because investors believe, the smart money believes that it is time to correct, but it is very hard to sell Nvidia right now because it is such an amazing stock. Okay, it is the best one ever. It's the best one in my portfolio. So I love Nvidia. So it is very hard to sell it right now. So what to do? Well, we can just wait a little bit more, okay? While this loss of momentum accumulates, if we see another pullback, again, this pullback could be sharp and intense, all right? And since I always like to follow the money, I like to follow the trend, I would never short or sell Nvidia in this context, but I would love to buy more shares if we see another pullback retesting a clear support level. Okay, that's what we do every single day. For instance, let me exemplify this to you. For instance, recently, ExxonMobil, right? We saw this phenomenal opportunity on ExxonMobil retesting a support level. We saw a very nice divergence between price and RSI. The momentum was accumulating over here, especially on the 1 hour chart, right? We saw this sideways movement while OBV and RSI, they were both climbing to higher levels. So we did identify this phenomenal opportunity and we bought ExxonMobil over here near support level. Now it is exploding, it is performing very well, it is breaking our first target. So okay, I gave you guys this signal on our Telegram channel. By the way, it is right there. You are free to join us, but that's what I'm trying to show you guys. If we see Tesla, Nvidia correcting, but after a correction, we see a good signal indicating a possible buying opportunity near a clear support level. While we see other things going on, maybe we may see another buying opportunity. Okay, so that's how I see Tesla and Nvidia right now. Although they are not looking good, I see dozens of other stocks looking way better. They are still promising stocks. Okay, Tesla back to the support level. We'll see how it's gonna react next week. Now we have AMD, right? Our dear AMD. AMD below this 21-day EMA, right? Now it is making another bearish reaction. It is one of the stocks that I really thought it was going to be a promising one, making a nice bullish reaction above the support level. We saw this hammer candle pattern, right? It was performing very well, but apparently this 21-day EMA is our nemesis over here, is the major resistance level on AMD. And by seeing the broad market performing so horribly bad today, well, there is no escape, right? AMD is gonna follow the broad market's sentiment, and it is correcting as well today, more than 3.5%. Now, what's the catch? If we see SPY, especially SPY, losing its support levels, rejecting the idea of a bullish continuation, if we see the SPY losing this ascending channels support level, probably we're gonna see AMD dropping, losing the 157 support level, actually triggering this double top chart pattern. Okay, because we have a top over here and another top over here. So that's still a possible double top. If AMD triggers this pattern by losing the 157.80, yes, the 147 area is going to be our next technical target. Okay, and in this case, AMD is gonna frustrate any bullish possibility medium-term wise. Long-term wise, on the weekly chart, there is room for more correction. The 21 weekly moving average is near the 143, so we could correct even more on the weekly chart. But right now, guys, we gotta see an actual trigger of a top signal on the daily chart so we can confirm a proper pullback on the weekly chart, okay? Back to the 21 weekly moving average. For now, let's observe how AMD is gonna behave over here, because as far as I know, we are still inside a trap zone between the 21-day EMA and this support level. Only a meaningful breakout could bring something new. If we break this 21-day EMA upwards, amazing. 182 is gonna be our next resistance level. By losing the 157, okay, 147 is going to be our next support level. Does that make sense? Well, it does to me. Palantir, also below the 21-day EMA, it is more bearish than many other stocks. One of you guys told me, Nathan, could that be a bearish flag? And the answer is yes, but all that I see right now is a possible bounce. I'm so sorry. We are factually bouncing to this resistance level, but I see possible top signal below this resistance level, because I agree, I confess, it is very annoying to see Palantir failing to break this double resistance level. Remember, I have been telling you guys this in this channel for many days now. Guys, the 160 is our main resistance level, along with the 21-day EMA. All right, we gotta break this double resistance level as soon as possible to confirm the idea of another rally to the all-time high level. If we don't, Palantir is not gonna reverse, it's gonna maintain this short-term, medium-term bearish bias over here. On the weekly chart, on the other hand, on the weekly chart, we are very close to the 21 weekly moving average. So that's a nice support area for Palantir. However, guys, in the absence of a clear upwards breakout of this double resistance level, there is no way we can see Palantir turning bullish again. All right, so if you are bullish on Palantir, you wanna see it breaking this resistance level. Conversely, if you wanna see Palantir going down, maybe because you wanna short Palantir or because you wanna buy Palantir, but you are waiting for the price to get cheaper, well, then you wanna see the loss. You know what? Let me say to you guys this. The loss of the 155.98. 155.98, that's so specific. Yes, by closing below this key point, Palantir is going to trigger this candle pattern over here, which has a name. It is a dark cloud cover candle pattern, okay? It is, from a statistical point of view, a quite reliable bearish candle structure, especially when it appears below a crystal clear obvious resistance level. Okay, so if Palantir closes below 155.98, yes, we may see a sharper correction ahead. The 142 is going to be our next technical target. I'm not going to repeat this information, all right? Now we have UnitedHealth Group Incorporated performing very well. Okay, if you ask me, what we have over here is a possible pennant chart pattern. Okay, we see a triangle over here, right? There is a kind of triangle, right? A triangle over here following this incredible rally. So if you ask me, that's a classic pennant chart pattern, okay, which is more often than not a continuation chart pattern. Okay, since it is a bullish version, it is a bullish pennant, odds are that we're gonna see an upwards breakout and continue the bullish rally from here. By breaking this key point, UnitedHealth could easily retest our next technical target around $387. We still have this open gap to close, all right? Remember, gaps work as magnets for the price when trends reverse, and by seeing this phenomenal bullish reversal, well, this key point is an easy target to aim. Now, what's the catch? If we see UNH losing again the 294, losing this support area, which was a previous support level here, support level here, support level here, resistance level here, right? Principle of polarity in technical analysis, previous support working as future resistance level, and right now we see this key point as a support level again. So by losing the 294, we may see a total rejection of this bullish candle structure, all right? But for now, guys, for now, we are maintaining the bullish bias. Okay, so with this information, we may see another rally on UNH, but be aware of the 294. Guys, remember, there is no right and there is no wrong in this market, but if you do not trade using stop loss, using targets, if you don't know what you are doing, if you are just buying, selling because you are, then you are crazy, okay? I don't mind in disagreeing with me, but please always trade using stop loss and targets. And we have MicroStrategy following Bitcoin's collapse. Okay, we see Bitcoin collapsing today after making another bounce near a crystal clear resistance level, which was a previous support level. Now we see another lower high, lower low. What's Bitcoin's next support level? 105. Okay, that's the 105 to you. Now, in this case, MicroStrategy is supposed to keep going down, to retest lower levels, okay? Coinbase is also supposed to drop to lower levels. We see what could be a possible double bottom chart pattern, right? But this 21-day EMA is working as a very annoying resistance level, so we failed to break this key point. Now, by losing the 293, what's Coinbase's next technical support level? The 240. Okay, so we have plenty of downside left if we see the loss of our key support levels. And of course, I'll be here every single day to keep you guys updated on these stocks and many others, to share ideas and strategies on this channel. So if you're not a subscriber, remember, subscribe. Click on the like button to support this community as well. I'm so grateful for your audience, my dear friends. Stay safe. See you guys next week. Have a nice holiday.